I saw this story. This was in Pittsburgh yesterday, and the umpire, John Tumpane, was walking over to the ballpark, and according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, he encountered a woman who was on the bridge as you walk over to the ballpark, and she was ready to kill herself. And Major League umpire John Tumpane is with us. John, pick up the story from there. You leave your hotel, you walk over the bridge, and when do you realize there's something going on?
Hey, Dan. Yesterday afternoon, it was a crazy chain of events. This was about 2:30 in the afternoon. So I went out for a run, and then I actually grabbed lunch, and my hotel's on the back side of the ballpark. So I was coming back across the bridge, and when I was approaching the bridge, about 30 feet in front of me, I saw a lady up ahead, and I saw her put her leg up on the rail, which obviously grabs your attention, and her leg came back down, and I kind of hurried up a little bit and saw her try to go do it again, and I asked the people in front of me, I said, "What's this lady doing?" And they said, "I don't know." And next thing you know, she flipped herself over to the other side of the bridge, and she was just hanging onto the railing. And I ran over there, and I just, put my hand on her shoulder, and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" She was like, "Oh, I just wanted to get a better look of the city from this side of the bridge." And there's only about a foot ledge on that side, so I knew that that's not a common place to get a better look at Pittsburgh. And at that point, I just kind of grabbed onto her arm and told her, "Hey, why don't we just, go grab some lunch? I'll buy her lunch and talk things out and, get her in a better place." And she told me that, just to let her go, and she'd be better off on that side, and that I wouldn't remember her, and I don't really want to help. And I said, "No, I want to help you." I said, let's just talk this out. And I put both arms on her and just tried to hang on to her. And another pedestrian came up, and I just mouthed to him from a distance to call 911, so I didn't freak this girl out more than she was. And they called the police, and another gentleman came and helped hold her arm. And then another gentleman actually came and asked what he could do, and I said, a couple times she had slipped her legs off the ledge where she just became like dead weight to hold. And I was like, don't do that. Come on, hang with us here. And was able to pull her back up multiple times. And I got this other gentleman who, Small World, ended up working for the Tampa Bay Rays. His name is Mike Weinman, and we didn't know any of this at the time. And he held her ankles on the platform, so she couldn't do that until the EMS people got there. And EMS was able to, secure to the bridge, get a life vest on her, and then basically talked to her that she was secure enough to the bridge that, she had to come back on this side, and they were able to get her back. And so thanks to the Pittsburgh, EMS, and they had the police down in the water in a boat and a helicopter above. And, that finished up about 3 o'clock, and went back to my hotel and called my wife, and I was behind the plate at 7 o'clock in PNC Park.
Were you thinking about that at all when you went to umpire the game that night?
Yeah, definitely. It was just everything just happened so fast. We're usually at the ballpark about 5:30. So by the time you try to regain composure, and obviously you're thinking of everything that just happened, and obviously the other ways that situation could have played out, and and working the plate and standing at home plate and looking out in between innings. I mean, all you do is see that Clemente bridge in center field, and just to think how many times I walked back and forth across that bridge, and as I will continue to do, and I'm glad that there's a positive story to go with that walk instead of a painful one.
But John, you're not sure what your words are going to do to her, so take us back to that moment where you're trying to be calm, but you don't know what your words are going to do, what her demeanor is going to be when you're reaching out to her.
No, you're exactly right, and I just felt that, being calm and keeping myself under control and letting her know that, obviously somebody in that state and her at that time, obviously there's a lot going on, and, like I just seem to think that you never know what's going on in somebody's day, and I just wanted to think calmness was going to be the successful route, and that's why I tried to just be quiet when I spoke to the other gentleman to call the police, because I thought maybe that would send the wrong signal to her and make for a rash decision. And I felt like if I could just calm her down and try to talk her back on this side, and it was just a tough position. It's about a 4.5 foot, 5 foot railing, and the leverage, and her being not a lot of room to work on that other side. We didn't have another option other than just to hang on, and I just thought, I'm going to hang on, and I'm not going to let go. And thankfully, we have this story to talk about in a positive fashion.
How physical was it of trying to hold on to her and not let her go over?
It was a task. Obviously your adrenaline's going, and I think you get that inner strength that you never thought you had, and especially when you got somebody else's life in your hand. And thanks so much to the other guys that came to the rescue and helped. And actually, about the fifth inning, a gentleman came down behind the home plate screen and called out my name, and it was the first responder with me that helped grab her arm. And he's like, "You didn't tell me this." And I
wait, he didn't know that you were an umpire?
Nobody knew I was an umpire. Yeah. And he said, "You didn't tell me this." So I walked over and I handed him a game ball, and I said, "No, thanks for your help." And he said, his family had called him and said they did a story during the game, and he said he had to come down and say hello. And same with the gentleman who worked for the Tampa Bay Rays. He met me outside the locker room after the game, and his arms were all scraped up from, laying on the cement, holding their ankles. And all three of us were there, and all three of us were there at night and had no idea who anybody was in the afternoon. And it was just good to see people come together to help someone out.
How many years? You've been in the major leagues, what, 7, 8 years?
Yeah, I started working in the big leagues in 2010. And
okay.
So, yeah.
Anything come close to this as far as excitement? Obviously saving somebody's life, but, anything as far as an incident at the ballpark or a game that you call? I think you called a no-hitter, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. All those are great memories, but, I think something like this just shows that there's more meaningful things in life and how precious a life is. And I'm glad that, I have some great memories in baseball, and this is obviously one for baseball and life.
Do you think ball players and managers are going to take it easy on you for a couple of days here, not yell at you?
No,
they're not going to. They're not going to. I'm waiting for that where it's ninth inning and it's come on, Blue, you're squeezing me.
Yeah, who knows? Anything can happen, but it's been a good feel-good story for just being around the field and being with some of the baseball people that we see every day. That just a positive story in today's world.
Are you still in Pittsburgh?
I am. We have a game tonight at 7 p.m.
Going to make that walk again, huh?
I'm going to make that walk, yeah, and be out there again.
Well, thank you, John. Great story, and hopefully it's a little less chaotic today. It's a nice walk across the bridge.
That's right. And I hope she's doing all right, and hope to see her again.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.